Hello, students and parents. My name is Mr. Nevares, and I'm going to be the U.S. history teacher for this year for your students. Let's go ahead and just look over the syllabus really quickly just to see how it is that I operate my classroom. I always like to start off by little quotes, and I really like this one by Martin Luther King Jr. He says, "We are not makers of history, we are made by history." And that kind of like sets up the tone of how my course is going to go out for the rest of the year. So my class description is this course is going to examine the actions and decisions of the peoples and events in U.S. history that shape the world that we live in today by examining the founding documents and critically examining events in our history. We can have a better understanding of who we are as citizens of the United States. Because as we all know, we are not bound together by blood, meaning that, there's not an American race, there's not American ethnicity, there's not American, there's not like a true like identity like that. What binds us together is our belief in a system, a governmental system. And we're going to examine how that governmental system has affected the growth of the United States from its beginning all the way to contemporary America. Materials. I just need you guys to come in prepared for class. These are my recommended materials that you bring to class. Mostly your laptop. This year, for the 2021-2022 year, each student has been given a laptop. So I do need you to bring your laptop because I will be working a lot with Schoology this year. If you come to my classroom and you say, "Mr. Nevares, my computer's dead because you did not plug it in," we're going to have issues because I'm going to ask you, okay, do you have a phone? Is that phone fully charged? Okay, so if your phone is fully charged, then your laptop needs to be fully charged, okay? So we need to be very, very cognizant on what materials that we need to bring to class when we need to bring them. Okay, class and online learning expectations. For this year, we're all in person, and I'm very happy for that. I just wanted to put online expectations on here just in case we have to, for any reason, go back to online learning. But still, I want us to be patient with each other. For you juniors, your high school life has been very, very much disrupted. It's been very disrupted. So we need to be patient with each other as we try to figure out how to come back to normal, right? A normal class year, and how it is that we learn to be successful together. So we need to be patient with one another as we're trying to figure out how to readjust back to this normal. Be present. Be present in the classroom. That means getting off your phones. Honestly, I really don't want to have this conversation too much. But guys, do not be on your phones, on Instagram and TikTok while we're doing a lesson, okay? That's the quickest way for you to not get information, possibly critical information that you're gonna need for your assessments, okay? So be present at all times, learn and engage with your fellow peers. I have a student-centered classroom, which means that we're gonna be doing a lot of group inquiry, group work, all right? We're gonna talk about a lot of ideas. And the only way that we're going to be able to do this and do this effectively is if you're present in the classroom with not just me, but your fellow peers, okay? Because they're counting on you to bring you have a certain background. No matter who you are, you have a certain background that brings something to the conversation, something meaningful. And I would like you to be present to do that. All right. But with that being said, we need to also be polite, okay? Being respectful and polite in my classroom is required at all times, okay? Students are expected to respect each other and the adults in the building, okay? That should go without saying. As far as I know, Grandview doesn't really have a problem with this, so hey, let's keep it up. Plagiarism and cheating, okay? Please do not plagiarize. Please do not cheat, okay? You don't need to do that in my classroom, okay? I really feel as though I'm going to be asking you a lot about what you think, not about what you know, all right? Asking you what you think is a much different question than asking you what you know, okay? I don't need you to mindlessly regurgitate information for me. So that means that a lot of my unit assessments are not something that you can just Google. I'm going to be asking you very critically charged, questions, like critical thinking questions that don't necessarily have a right or wrong answer, but I do need you to back it up with evidence, okay? Online learning expectations, again, I just put that down there just in case we do need to, but we are all in person this year, which I'm very glad about. All right, so what are we learning this year? Okay, we're going to be talking about the colonies, right? It's U.S. history. So we need to talk about the United States before it was the United States and it was just colonies. We move into the Revolutionary War. How did that happen? Why did we need to separate from British rule? Why did those founding fathers feel as though that they need to do that? Then we're going to be talking about federalism, slavery, and the prelude to Civil War. There's a lot of stuff in there as far as like setting the stage for, of course, our semester, what we're rounding it out with, which is the Civil War. All right, and one of those critical thinking questions I'm going to ask you at the very end and your final for the semester is, was the Civil War inevitable? That's just not something you can Google. This is going to be coming from, okay, we're going to be taking evidence from colonial America, Revolutionary War, and everything up to the Civil War to try to gather evidence as to whether or not we think the Civil War was inevitable or not. So you need to fully explain to me and analyze how all of the steps and events and people, places in U.S. history really contributed to that. All right. Then the second semester we come back, we're going to be talking about Reconstruction, right? Westward expansion, World War I and World War II, because that really sets up for contemporary America, right? So the United States prior to World War I and World War II, we were very isolationist. But afterwards, we become known as the world's policemen. How did that happen? So we're going to be talking about all that. Okay, grading. My semester final is going to be worth 20%. Your semester work, your unit assessments are worth these many points, and your writing assessments and reading assessments, multiple choice. Again, I won't be getting too many of those, but they are still, that's a skill that you still need to do because you're going to be taking stuff like SATs and stuff like that. So we still need to practice that from time to time. The assessments, the goal of the assessments is to really demonstrate your mastery and understanding of content, all right? So I have those different types of assessments. Now, we all know, since you're juniors, you kind of know the game, right? You're going to ask me, Mr. Nevares, is this formative or is it summative? What you're really asking me is, do I need to do this or don't I? All right. So I would suggest to you that anything that I give you is very important. I don't like to give a lot of busy work. Okay. I like to not just have us come to class and spin our wheels. Okay. So if I'm giving you something, that means that there's something that you need to draw from it. That's going to give you evidence, right? All those formative assignments are going to compile evidence and things that you're going to need to draw from to finish your unit assessment. So if you're not doing the formative, you're not going to be prepared to do the summative assessments. All right. So that's pretty much what my class is going to be like. Again, like I said, I'm a very student-centered teacher, which means I want us to be always constantly with each other. I don't want to be talking at you for an hour and a half. So please be engaged and let's have a great year.